If you truly love my daughter, Kody replied, his voice half teasing but his eyes stone-cold serious, then you'll love her like I loved her mother, patiently, and with boundaries. Aurora went still. Brody, her boyfriend, fidgeted uncomfortably on the couch, his cowboy boots thumping the floor. The air in the Brown home was charged, not just with the scent of cinnamon and pine, but with a tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Robin smiled, trying to break the ice. Well, she said, I suppose we can all agree this isn't your typical family Christmas discussion. Kody laughed, but you could tell he wasn't kidding. This wasn't a discussion, it was a test. This holiday season, for the Browns, it's not just about trimming trees or baking cookies. It's about testing love, loyalty, and trust. And this year, there's a new face at the table who's about to find out what it truly means to be part of this family. It all started when the Brown residence was aglow with Christmas lights. Robin was in the kitchen with cookies, and Kody was by the fireplace, trying to look casual. Aurora came in, her face flushed with excitement. Mom, Dad, can I talk to you for a minute? Robin smiled gently. Of course, honey. What's going on? Aurora took a deep breath. You know that guy I've been spending time with, Brody. Kody's brows furrowed. The cowboy boy with the pickup? Aurora nodded. Yeah, well, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said okay. The room went quiet. You could practically hear the clock ticking on the wall. Robin's smile froze, and Kody leaned back, crossing his arms. Ah, Kody finally managed. That's big news. Aurora fiddled with her sleeve. I couldn't wait to tell you. He's coming over tonight to decorate the Christmas tree with me. Robin tried to sound bright. That's wonderful, sweetheart, but her eyes darted toward Kody, who was clearly battling a storm of questions. For most families, meeting your daughter's boyfriend is simple. But for Kody Brown, nothing about family is ever simple. Not when you have 4 households, a dozen opinions, and a history of heartbreak. As evening approached, Kody stood by the window, staring out at the snow. He wasn't sure what he'd say to Brody, but one thing was certain. This was no ordinary visit. This was the start of the family safety check. Just after 7 p.m., the crunch of tires on fresh snow echoed down the driveway. Aurora's heart leaped. She rushed to the window to see Brody's old truck pulling up. Robin fidgeted with her sweater, and Kody folded his arms, his gaze silent and heavy. Aurora opened the door, and there he stood, Brody, tall, respectful, in a brown leather jacket and scuffed cowboy boots. He held a small gift bag and a Christmas ornament. Evening, ma'am. Evening, sir, he said with a polite nod. Robin smiled warmly. Welcome, Brody. Come on in. Kody didn't move. He just stared at Brody, analyzing his posture, his tone, how he stood next to Aurora. Finally, he gave a slight nod. Boots off at the door, he stated bluntly. Brody smiled, unsure if it was a joke. Yes, sir, of course, he said, immediately taking them off. As they entered the living room, Aurora put a hand on Brody's arm. Dad, Mum, Brody brought something for the tree. Brody held up the ornament. It was a small homemade wooden heart with faith and family etched on it. I made it myself, he said. Just thought it might fit right in. Robin's eyes softened. That's very sweet, Brody. But Kody's voice was slow and measured. With your hands or with your intentions? Aurora's smile faded. Dad, she began, blushing. Brody didn't flinch. Both, sir, he replied evenly. You can't make something like this without meaning it. And just like that, the test had begun. Kody wasn't just welcoming a guest. He was sizing up the man who might one day claim his daughter's heart. As they started decorating the tree, Robin put on holiday music, trying to lighten the mood. But Kody watched every move, every word. When Aurora giggled at something, Brody whispered. Kody's expression softened, just for a fraction of a second. The tree glowed, but underneath the festive cheer, Kody's quiet interrogation was underway. He finally spoke. So, Brody, Kody said, lounging in his chair, what do you do when you're not carving hearts out of wood? Brody smiled. Well, sir, I have a small ranch outside of town. I work with horses, mostly. Trying to build it up, piece by piece. Kody's eyebrow arched. A cowboy, eh? I've known a few cowboys, some ride horses, and some just ride the idea of being one. Aurora sighed softly. Dad. Brody chuckled nervously, but held his ground. I'm the real deal, sir. Early mornings, late nights, calloused hands, the whole 9 yards. Robin chimed in, that's hard work. Sounds like you have a lot of self-discipline. Kody nodded slowly. Discipline is important. Especially when you're dating my daughter. The room fell silent again. Brody met Kody's gaze. Yes, sir, I agree. Kody leaned forward, his tone firm. You know, when I was your age, I was crazy about Aurora's mum, bed. I respected her boundaries until the day we were married. That's how I showed my respect. Aurora's face flushed. Dad, Kody ignored her. What I'm asking Brody is simple. Do you understand what respect in a relationship looks like? Brody paused, then nodded. Yes, sir. It's not just what you do. It's how you think. I respect Aurora. I would never cross a boundary that would disrespect her or you. For Kody Brown, love isn't measured in words. It's measured in discipline, honor, and how a man handles pressure. And tonight, every question was a pop quiz. The tree, lights twinkled, casting cozy shadows. Aurora and Brody sat on the couch, while Robin served hot cocoa. Kody paced by the fireplace, his mind still in protective father mode. Finally, he turned, his voice firm. Brody, you need to understand something. My family. We've been through a lot. Public scrutiny. Broken trust. I don't let just anyone into this circle. Brody nodded. I understand that, sir. Kody fixed his eyes on him. When a man tells my daughter he's serious, that means protection. It means patience. It means safety. Aurora frowned. Dad, I'm not a little girl anymore. He glanced at her, his expression softening for only a moment. I know, honey, but I've seen what happens when people say one thing and do another. He leaned forward again. Brody, if things ever get pressured emotionally, physically, whatever, what do you do? Brody's response was instant. I stop. I check in with her first. Kody probed his face. And if she says she's uncomfortable, I listen. Always. Robin smiled weakly. That's the right answer, she said softly. But Kody wasn't done. You'd be surprised how many men say that and don't mean it. Respect isn't a promise, it's a habit. Heat. Turn to Brody one last time. Are you about commitment or convenience? Brody met his gaze. Commitment, sir, always. For the first time, a small smile touched Kody's lips. Good, because around here, convenience doesn't last. Family does. The family safety check wasn't about control. It was about ensuring Brody understood the unwritten rules of the Brown family. Faith, respect, and loyalty above all. The fire crackled, and for the first time, Kody seemed to relax, but the tension lingered. Robin turned to Brody, her voice gentle. Brody, she began. Can I ask you something, from a mother's heart? Brody nodded. Of course, ma'am. You're a good young man, she said warmly. But Aurora's life isn't simple. She's grown up under a microscope. How will you help shield her? Brody paused, by standing beside her, not in front of her. I don't want to shelter her. I want to be her support. Aurora beamed, her eyes shining. That's what I love about him. Robin nodded, visibly moved. That's good to hear. Because sometimes love isn't about protecting someone, it's about being their anchor when the world is shaking. Just as the mood softened, Kody's phone lit up, its glow casting a strange light on his face. Aurora frowned. Dad, what's going on? Kody read the message, and his expression turned to ice. It's from the attorney, the Coyote Pass buyer. They backed out. A heavy silence fell. The deal was dead. So what now? Robin whispered. Kody scanned the room, looking utterly exhausted. Maybe it's time to figure out who really deserves a piece of that land. The room went cold. What do you mean? Robin asked. Kody's voice dropped, low and deliberate. I mean, maybe it's time we stop pretending we're still one big family. Aurora's eyes widened. Dad? Brody took her hand, unsure of what to say. 4 years, Coyote Pass was the dream that held them together. Now, it was the wedge driving them apart. Aurora stood, her voice trembling. "You can't give up, Dad. You promised this was for all of us." Kody looked straight at her. "Things change, Aurora. People change." It was Brody who spoke up. "Maybe, but families don't give up. Not when they really mean it." Kody had no reply. He just stared at the young man before him, who stood steady, unafraid. And in that moment, Kody saw something he hadn't seen in a long time. Not defiance, but courage. The kind of courage that comes from real love. Outside, the snow fell harder. Robin broke the silence. "So, what happens now?" Kody let out a long sigh. "I don't know, but something tells me the storm is just getting started. In this family, peace never lasts long. And sometimes, the biggest wars begin right after the laughter stops." Thanks for watching. If you want to see what happens next at Coyote Pass, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.